All right, so I've been wanting to get into this topic for a long time now, so I will talk about it anyway, and I'll do my best to not make this as long. So I'm just gonna keep it as much as possible to the point without trying to be so much off tangent like I have with my past videos. So, and also I'm surrounded by some really good Christmas music, so I gotta be as loud as possible here too. You know what I mean, because I'm trying to be as loud as possible here. I am at the mall. It's about to walk out. I'm trying to head back to my dump. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this topic right here. This is regarding. I finally want to talk about this because I've been meaning to talk about it for a long time now. I think I meant to do it like in the past summer, but I just never had a chance to. So I'm going to talk about it right now. My friendship with Rhea. Yeah. I know it's a lot to get into. I really don't want to make this into like a 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. I mean, who knows how long it's going to be, but like I said, I don't want to make it too long. So I want to just reflect on as much as possible as I'm heading out right now, the mall, trying to go back to my dump. By the way, it's good to see Terrence back. When I thought he was no longer going to be around in that dump, and just knowing what he has gone through, but good to see him back. So I'm happy to see him back, and just hoping that he stays healthy and he can stay well, right? So let's just hope for the best for this guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I wish him all well. He's still the same guy that I know, so just wishing him all the best, right? So as I get into this topic here, I've known Rhea. Technically, I've known her since 2015. Now, if our friendship had continued today, like with many close friends from the posters that I've met in 2015, it would have been 10 years. It would have been literally 10 years that I've known Rhea, and I've been really close with her, even though I think, that we've developed a much closer friendship just in the last, in the last 5 years. Mind you, during the shutdown, right? So, it's, interestingly enough, I think it was more so in 2018. So it was kind of before the pandemic, but I started developing a lot closer during the time of the shutdown. So, that's when our friendship started to get much, much closer. I started talking to her more in 2018, and that was, the best year I had. I remember seeing Sarah that year when she was at the LAX, when she was doing that U.S. tour concert at the time. So, just looking back, I think she was, let's just be honest, she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Definitely very humble, very kind. And I know she was truly a very caring person, much like Mari has always been to me. And even I remember she was part of the crew of when I came back from a year and a half. People like her, lovely Mel, Angelique. She was definitely friendly with me in the sense that her loyalty is just, very solid, and still solid even when I came back from my year and a half leaving. Just when I worried about, at the time, my ex-covetous by heart, just to just to think that that they would, I'm talking about Christine and Kirill, that I thought they would still give that same feel for me if they really missed me like that. But unfortunately, it wasn't the case. So it just so happens that Rhea was one of those people. And I believe I talked about the fact that I was just so heavily distracted, and knowing that I just missed an opportunity to even spend more time with those friends, and failing to realize that as Rhea is another one of them, is one of those very caring friends, to realize that she continued to care for me like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just ultimately turns out, and look, I know they knew where I stood with as far as like trying to continue my friendship with Chris, which was mostly a roller coaster ride. I talked about me and Chris's friendship, right? The thing is though, as I'm trying to get right back into the street, this mall. I mean, so yeah, I mean this is one where I feel like there's gonna be a lot to talk about because I think that whether she sees this video or not, I'm gonna say it with my chest, and I don't know if there will be I don't know if Mari will ever share this link to her or what have you, but I'm gonna say this anyway because I think it just needs to be said. And,
on the phone
and then,
or on the
and whether it's not really gonna matter too much anyway because friendship just really it just took it just fell apart like that when I didn't expect it to be. Obviously I was still in my dump, and in 2022 I think it all started in 2022 when she saw what I put up on my Facebook story and kind of doing the X out of those who never cared. And obviously I did not mean to do that to her. I didn't realize that was her, and it just like, and even whatever I just said then, it was like I didn't really mean it like that, even if I had said things I didn't mean. But the part where I accidentally X'd her out, that I didn't mean either. That mind you, that was one of the older fan arts that I did back in 2018. She was among those many ex-close friends that were in that banner. I know Angels that was there, Marielle was there, and I know Chris, Christine, all my competitors by heart, my former competitors by heart were all there. So I did not mean to X her out like that. So, I was hoping that she would understand. And I mean, well, from what Mari, I don't know if Rhea told Mari or me. This was way back in 2022 when I was already starting to feel at my worst. Only for it to get even way worse going into the next year. And that was when I started to lose a lot of friends. Aside from the almost 20 people that left in my dump that year, at least I'm talking about like, the first half of the month, or the first half of the year, where I started to lose a bunch of friends, a bunch of ex-close friends. It's hard to believe I lost so many of them in that first half of the year. Like Krisa, Christine, Alyssa, even Rhea, and it's just so many of them. And Marielle as well. It's sad, dude. And really, it just I feel heartbroken over losing Rhea like that. As badly heartbroken as I was to see Krista not treat me the same, and ultimately to see that things have just gotten rough, and to the point where now I feel like I'm expecting a friendship, an official friendship departure, which what really happened. It's this one I feel like it hurt me just as much, if not. I know this is gonna sound like I've been secretive about this, but now I'm really gonna let it out. I feel like this one hurt me more, just because I like now being out of social media. It allows me to really, while I'm at peace away from social media, although I'm still in my dump, that's still causing me to be at my worst, as is to this day, and what have you. I feel this one hurt me more to lose Rhea like that, because Rhea showed me that she truly cared for me so much more, that I just I just wish I had seen in Christine. I'm talking about all my ex competence by heart. Let's just use them as a reference as a whole. My competence by heart. Rhea was truly that friend who truly cared, and maybe she may not have the kind of accomplishments that Krista had, but when it comes to friendship, she was. I know. I just saw it in her eyes. I just saw it in her beautiful eyes. One of the most beautiful set of eyes I've ever seen in any lady friend. I can say that Mari is the most beautiful girl I ever met to have as a best friend. And as far as like her, how she is like naturally, even she tries to model and all that. Without any makeup and anything, Mari is just the prettiest I've ever met. A true fashionista. She can dress however she wants. She'll still be too attractive for me. You know what I'm saying? Too attractive to a friend I'll ever have. Especially considering that she is my best friend. Right? So, look, man. It's like I said, this one really hurt me a lot because Rhea was very caring, and she is very pretty. I know she may not be willing to admit it because I've always told her that she's so pretty, and she was like, nah, yeah, it may be only prettier in pictures and all that. I remember a conversation that she and I had. When was this? Like way back in 2018 or what have you. She was just so cute when she even said this too. She was like, she said it in Tagalog, but I remember she said, I'm gonna try and translate to the best that I can because I'm not really good with how I flow with my words. Like I know some of that language. It's just that I don't flow it very well. It just depends on the conversation, on the topic, but I don't flow very well with in long sentences or just good solid sentences, when it comes to speaking in that language. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically she was saying, she's so lucky and so happy to have a kuya like me because who's all about drama, like something like that. I mean, I have the screenshot right. I have the screenshot right here. If you can see it, I actually have it. I'll show it. Yeah, she's cute, and I even told her she was cute. I even said that she was pretty. She was like, yeah, maybe cute, but not pretty. I'm like, she's just so funny, but she is pretty. I'll tell you that much. I think ever since I've seen like her pictures where she's wearing that really very attractive sleeveless top. That's the one where it has Sarah behind her. That's when I started to become more attracted to her, and just that's when I started to like her more. Just the fact that she's just that pretty to me, and even her eyes too. But we did develop a good friendship, and I just hate the fact that it had to end that way because I know at times there was one time I got really mad that she and I've said this before. I even told Mari about how if she just sometimes just misses seeing her messages, or maybe she just doesn't check her inbox that often, right? And then when I would message her again, she'd be like, she'll respond and say hi, and I'm just, I think, I was wrong to get mad like that. That's when I stepped out of social media for a week, and this was like right at the end of September. Now, what were my thoughts when that happened? Look, I'm gonna say this, and I know Mari tends to joke around with me, and with how we how our friendship just came apart like that. But I'm gonna say it anyway. Not that it even matters, because I know I mean, based on what Mari had, let me show this other screenshot right here. Yeah, because like she told Parjory, she told, I guess she told a lot of the, our friends, who were my friends and now ex-close friends, about saying my final goodbyes. And that's when Rhea said, that, hope I can have a peace of mind after this, So look, I didn't expect her to respond, but she responded anyway. So just she's, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if she just is just really willing to give me another chance or what have you. I don't know. But I do know that she hopes I can get a peace of mind. So it's not like she's wishing bad upon me and all that. Now, in terms of, during the time of our friendship, I never told her this, and I might as well say it anyway, since our friendship just took a big hit, as far as like, it being departed unexpectedly because of what I did and said to her then. And even though I wanted to take it as a joke, she didn't really take that as a joke. You know what I'm saying? And it just really hurts to just lose her like that. But let me just say this before I head over to Coffee Bean. I know I'm pretty damn late, but it's hard for me to just take a lunch break without going to Coffee Bean. And I do that after every shoot-around game, with the exception of the last couple of playoff games where I was in Starbucks, right? So the one at the Cereal Town Center. But yeah, so I'm gonna say this: I did have a crush on Rhea, right? I did have some feelings for her, but it's not like I was trying to pursue her like that. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I had feelings for her, I had a crush on her, and it's like, I get the feeling sometimes that, I was hoping that she won't, find somebody way more valuable than me. I have a feeling she's in a relationship, but from what I've heard before, she was. But, considering how much she has cared for me and back then, and for her to be that supportive of me, like Mari and Angelique were, guys like them, I just find it like, I don't know, I just find it weird to me, but I just felt that way anyway, that I really truly have had a crush on her, and it just, like, I don't know, it's just weird because I had feelings for her, and then it's like, I don't know if I want to pursue her or not, right? But I feel like she was already in a relationship. Who knows what? It's just, but after all, we were a really good, solid friendship, and I just, I don't know. Let's just see when I get to a new job whenever that would be, if I ever get a chance to reconnect with her. But if not, then, it is what it is at this point on, right? But I'm not going to really think about that right now. I truly miss her, and I truly miss our friendship. So I know I've said a lot. It's going to be almost 20 minutes long. So I'm going to leave it at that. I just think we had a really good friendship run, which became great, like in 2018 and in 2020. But ultimately, it's just going to come to an end. Or it has come to an end. So I'm going to leave it with that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.